What's up, guys? We're here with the founder of Pickleball and the first ever pickleball racket, Johnny. We're excited to hear about the Aero1. So let's talk us through it. So we're looking at the first ever pickleball racket to the pickleball scene. Talk me through the technical specs of this paddle and who should expect to play with this.
Sure, yeah. Well, fundamentally, it's a pickleball racket, so it changes from the paddle. It's double thermoformed, so we have an internal racket frame. So around here, it's a single molded fluid carbon frame, and then we mold the core into that frame, and then we thermoform it again to create the racket. So that's what separates it from the standard paddle construction. It's 3K. We have 3 layers of 3K formed around the whole racket frame. It is basically 15.75 inches long. We have a 5-inch handle. We have our Aerotech aerofoil here. So this is not a cutout per se. It's actually formed from the racket frame. And and then we have our nanotech. We have 2 layers of nanotech on top to create the spin. About 80% of our spin comes from the racket frame. The dwell time on the racket is what creates majority of it. Other things that people usually want to know is it's got a static weight of 8.1, so it's solidly in the mid-weight category there. However, the swing weight, because of the racket construction, the swing weight is 109. So typically speaking, with a static weight of 8.1, you're going to see a swing weight of 120, 130. Ours is more around 109, as I said. So it's more like a static weight of 7.5, 7.6. So it feels a lot lighter to play with than it gives away. So the actual, and that allows you to create that tennis type game. But fundamentally, yeah, it's a very well constructed double thermoformed piece of equipment, and we have a Hexion core, which is a slightly modified polymer polypropylene to give that tennis style racket feel. Because the standard stuff tends to break. The thermoforming process is pretty brutal, and when you double it up, it really gets rough. So we have a very unique Hexion core that gives us that power and that control, and a very very unique feel and play style. Basically, the main people for this is we have a lot of people coming over from tennis because it plays like a mini tennis racket. A lot of our tennis pros say it's similar to a Wilson at a 45 string tension. It's just an easier transition for those guys. They're very used to the way it feels in the hand, and they can trust it more. And then we have a lot of people that come from traditional paddles that are just wanting to speed up their game. They're wanting to create those tennis angles. They want to get that top spin drive. They want to have a different feel when it comes to the soft game. And so we're getting a lot of converts that used to play with more of a paddle type construction, and now they're moving over to rackets. But fundamentally, that's the core gear. Oh, and then the final thing that a lot of people are pointing out, which is unique to me, is we have this shark skin wrap. So I used to dive a lot, and so our polymer here is very much like shark skin. The more you sweat, the more it grips, and people like the feel of it. It's a 4-inch circumference, mainly because it's a single molded handle. So we haven't stuck any either foam or wood. This is all solid carbon fiber, and it's been ergonomically crafted, much like a tennis racket, to fit really nicely in the hand. So that's another kind of unique feature of the Arm Aero1 that you typically don't see in paddles.
So spec wise, you're looking at fundamentally something very similar to what you'll see across the board. So you didn't stretch out and do something crazy with the specs. You see everything you need for soft feel, for spin, for power, for swing weight. You even go down to the grip that has, that's soft. It's got a small circumference, and it's not going to slip out of your hand. So you've created a racket that fits perfectly within what people are looking for when they are looking for a racket paddle, when they're looking for a paddle.
Yeah.
But it's completely different as far as the frame goes. And just round out with that, finish with with how different this is and your vision of why the racket is better than a paddle.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're biased. We think it's better. It's faster for sure. It's got you get a much better dwell time, and it's in a game that's speeding up. When you have a racket frame, and really pickleball rackets have to have that double thermoformed process. They have to have an independent racket frame that's been basically fluid carbon blow molded, because that's what gives you the performance that you can't get out of a paddle. And I would say the guys that play with this, they want that speed, they want that aggressive top spin, and then when it comes close to the net, they want that fast hand speed, and they want that touch and that feel that isn't kind of that pillow soft feel that you get from paddles, especially the control paddles. It really does feel more like you are controlling that ball, like a tennis ball comes off a tennis racket. And so for the tennis players specifically, they're used to that feeling. They know it. They can play some really aggressive angles because they've had 15, 20 years of playing that before. And in that regard, the pickleball rackets that are coming on, they really do play, if not look, but play very much like mini tennis rackets. And it's definitely changing the sport. The guys that are playing with the Aero² right now are creating angles and speeds that I just don't think the pickleball world is used to, and it's giving them a huge advantage right now. And at Arm, we hope to continue that trend and continue to get closer and closer to that tennis racket feel, so that these guys, the tennis players, the racket players, and those that want more speed can really start to dominate as they are already.
Well, the first ever pickleball racket, we love it. You stayed true to the pickleball roots of what we need, and you stretched outside the box to bring performance of your racket to the next level. If you're a former tennis player, or if you're someone that's just looking to have the highest performance in your pickleball game, definitely want to check out the Aero² at Just Paddles. Thanks for your time, Johnny.
An honor. Thank you.